Tommy Taylor Jr. Man, it just sounds so good to say. And the good news, we get to say it all night because he won. I know we're all super excited. Can't wait to hear your reactions coming up.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I feel like this is one of the very first episodes where we're all just really excited about who won. Because Tommy Taylor Jr., right? How fun is this to say? Is anybody else just constantly saying it in their minds?
Yes. Not just in our minds, but, out loud. It's fun to say.
Taylor Jr. And of course, this song reflects Tommy Taylor Jr., doesn't it?
It does.
Look at you dancing over there. Look at you just getting into this.
She's really feeling
Big
it.
Madonna fan?
I love Madonna.
Madonna and I went to the
girl.
same high school. Shout out Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, guys, I'm so happy that all of you guys are joining us tonight. I know we already have a lot of discussion going on in the live chat. If you're watching us live on YouTube, you'll see that there is a live chat, and we constantly engage with that chat all night, talking with people on there. They ask questions. We try to answer them. We have a guest tonight who we'll be introducing momentarily, but certainly join in there and tell your friends, and we'll see you in future weeks. But our guest tonight, Jordan from week 2. Jordan, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
We really do appreciate you coming on and, sharing your thoughts on the show. We're going to ask you some questions about your experience and what you think of the show, what you thought about tonight's episode. We'll introduce ourselves first. I'm your host, Michael Klaus, and I'm sitting next to 3 lovely ladies.
Hey guys, I'm Mina.
Hey, what's up, Proposal fans? I'm Lauren Ashley Beck.
Hi everyone, I'm Farron Osman-Sherritt.
Fantastic. So, your experience. You happy you did it? I know you were engaged. You weren't engaged. You were not engaged to Ashley. There was no engagement. Are you happy you did the show?
I am. It was a lot of fun. It was a learning experience. I met a lot of great people. I get to be here with you guys. So yeah, I'd say it was a pretty good experience. Yeah.
Is it surreal to watch the show now and think, I was on that, I won, I was where he was tonight?
Yeah. It was. I think it's more entertaining for me to watch the show. Being on it, I kind of have the same feelings. I can really relate to what's going on stage. So, yeah, the nerves and emotion are real. I can tell you up on stage for sure.
So, talk to us about before the show, the beginning. How were you found to be on the show?
I was actually asked by a recruiter, but I'm not sure if I can really go into exactly how they hit me.
Were you out on the dating scene? Was that you were looking for no matter where you were looking, but you were looking and they found you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you think it was a joke? I mean, someone reaches out to you and said, "Hey, we have this show."
Well, yeah. So I actually didn't really know about the show up until right before filming. So we kind of didn't really know what the whole concept was, and I think even after someone told us what the concept was, we're like, "What? what do you mean?" So yeah, it was very, very quick. It all happened really quick, and yeah, we'll see what happens next season.
So at that point, you're keeping your options open because you don't know what to expect.
You know what? I was just kind of along for the ride. I was, I think in general for me it was. This, I wanted to go on for fun. I wanted to have an interesting experience, but I think at the end of the day, if I found someone that was great, I mean, I don't care how I met them, so that's that was the hope,
Easiest to say this is the wildest dating experience you've ever had?
Oh yeah. I would, and wildest breakup. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Was there any hesitation once you found out what the...
Spoiler
Oh,
alert.
boy.
You haven't seen episode 2?
They are not together anymore. Was there any hesitation when you found out what the show was going to be about? Were you like, I'm not sure if I want to do this?
Yeah, well, maybe hesitation to do what everyone maybe expected, but if you saw that episode, you probably knew that as well. Yeah.
Did you get to keep the Neil Lane diamond after the fact?
I did not.
You had to give it back?
Yeah, I didn't even have it after the show. They want to keep that all under wraps until it airs. But yeah, I only got to touch it. It was beautiful though. Neil Lane, well done.
Yeah, shout out to Neil Lane.
Yeah, I think that is a question. You touched about it. To keep it under wraps until the show airs. What is dating in private off a reality show like?
Well, for me, it was interesting because she lived in Nashville and I live in LA. So we really got to really speak on the phone mostly, FaceTime. I mean, I went to Russia right after we aired, so like me and him were just talking while it's overseas. And then going to visit her in Nashville. Never been. It was amazing. Nashville, doing great. But the long distance, just kind of killed it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you really got the chance to know her, like a fair chance to know her, even though you guys were communicating via FaceTime and all that?
No, I don't. But I don't think that's anything to say against FaceTime and texting. I think that if it took two people to kind of like really want to go deeper than superficial. I think we knew a lot of facts about each other, but as far as like going any deeper, I think there was some resistance there just because of the distance. So it's kind of complicated, I guess.
On both parts?
Yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't say much more than that, but it takes two,
Sure.
What is the experience when you're on the show where you don't see who's behind that wall, even though it is nice and sparkly? How much
good looking wall?
Yeah, great looking wall. As the show progresses, are you questioning of like, I wonder what she thinks about this. I wonder what her thoughts are on that. Because one of the things that we've talked about on the show is that it's very contestant oriented and driven of learning about the contestants, but the contestants don't really get to learn much about the person. Is that something that A, you were asking yourself while on the show, and B, you wish it would incorporate?
Yeah, I think that's extremely important. The fact that we didn't get to know anything about her, we didn't get to ask any questions about her. It was very one-sided. Mm-hmm. I think they should definitely address that issue. If they do upcoming seasons. I would answer your question, right?
No, because it's been a huge thing of like, man, we're learning all about these guys. But what did we actually know about Celine tonight? How did we even see her reactions to the questions from the contestants?
I mean, Celine was very vocal tonight, though, because I did hear her saying a lot, like, "Oh my God," and, "Oh yeah," like.
Yeah, but what does that tell you? That means she's reacting.
I mean, that means that she likes what she sees. That's what that means.
The poor guys don't get to know anything about her. That's what you're getting at.
And to your point, Jordan, I agree. And we've said that on this show. Why don't they get to know more besides the little bio with the little invisible man? That you definitely deserve to learn more.
I feel like it would make way more sense for the audience to be able to see the contestant behind the screen and for the men to not see her. So at least we can read something off of those nonverbal cues.
Showbiz, man. Showbiz.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I wanted to take her to Fiji. That's why I wanted to get to know her because it's not really fair to kind of put someone on the spot and you don't really know. I mean, I get the whole like love at first sight thing. I get that, but maybe I'm a little old-fashioned, and I did obviously date someone a long time, and I didn't propose.
Yeah, we heard about that. 9 years, right?
Total of 9 years. It was on and off, but that's a whole another hour segment.
What did you think of the criticism that people gave for you not proposing?
I mean, I get it. I think people like want to see that for the show, but personally, I've never been on a reality show before. I wanted to be real, and that was real. I wasn't going to propose to someone I didn't know, and like literally the first time I saw her was when she walked out of that thing. So it's like, I don't know anything about you. You're beautiful. That's cool. But I wanted to get to know her, and I think she did too. And I think that's why inevitably she picked me.
Did they really encourage that proposal? Like, were they like, listen, we need you to propose?
I can't speak of anything that the producers and I talked about, but yeah, I mean the show is called The Proposal. I'm sure they would have liked me to do that, but personally, I feel like it made our show very interesting. The fact that I didn't, whether or not she picked me or not, it's pretty interesting.
Did you go on the show knowing that you weren't going to propose, or was that just an instinct that you're like, I'm not ready for this yet? I had a pretty good idea I wasn't gonna propose, but I wasn't also gonna like write it off. But as it progressed and I made it to the final, I was kind of like, oh well, all right, I got to make that decision. So I guess I didn't really have to think about it much until I was standing with a
tux and a Neil Lane ring.
So you were like, Fiji is a good alternative to a proposal.
Fiji sounds like a good alternative to anything. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, really, I just wanted to get to know her going somewhere, and
they
so
pay for
I
the
was just
trip?
like, Fiji. Why not? I kind of threw it out there. I'd never been. I'd always want to go. I'm a big surfer. I like to surf, so I was like, Fiji sounds good.
Did they pay for the trip?
Well, and we never went. We never went on the trip. I went to Nashville, and that was the last time I saw her.
Would they have paid for the trip?
They probably would have. Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know if that was ever a thing, an option of like, hey, if you want to do this, we'll give you a set budget.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can speak
good.
about
No.
that specifically.
That's
but,
totally fine. How
yeah.
much discussion was there between you and the other contestants throughout the show?
You know what? It's interesting. We still talk. All of us still talk. We have a group chat, and I think the most interesting thing is that's really the relationship that kind of lasted and like was solid because we all get to hang out, before the show, during the show, after the show, and I think very very we all talk.
Do you think it will take to propose? Do you think love is enough in a relationship, or do you think that there's something required more than just love and chemistry for a proposal to occur in the future?
For me,
yes,
specifically.
for you specifically.
Oh man, all right. No, I think love, chemistry, all of that's super important. But I think what I'm also looking for is
Compatibility.
A partner. Obviously compatibility. I think that's really important as well. But a partner in general, someone that you're not, taking through life, but you're like kind of holding hands as you're going through life together. Someone in the trenches with you, because you're gonna need support some days. And she's gonna need support some days. So that's really what it's about. Someone that's passionate, driven, doesn't need me. That's great. You don't need me. I don't need you. But we're in this together.
Yeah.
It's kind of a long-winded answer.
Well, we won't grill you, consistently anymore. We have tonight's episode to talk about, and we certainly want to get your take on tonight's episode. And certainly, as we progress, and if we have a question, we want to be able to hear what your thoughts are comparatively. But we are at AfterBuzz. This is not the only show that we cover. We are the ESPN of TV Talk. You see this right here, ESPN of TV Talk, and we have dozens and dozens of shows, don't we, Mia?
Yeah, we seriously do. So AfterBuzz TV produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, not just The Proposal. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help, guys. So listen up. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those annoying notifications, don't be, because they're totally optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments and we'll thank you on air. You'll get a special shout out from the four of us. For now, thanks for being the best fans ever and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
There are literally dozens of shows, and if you guys have fun on this one, I guarantee there's so many other great hosts, you're going to have fun on those as well. And speaking of fun, I think tonight's episode was fun. I think this, of a lot of the episodes we watched, there was just good chemistry. I think it was interesting that a lot of the guys seemed the same starting out. And I think, I forget who mentioned it, they were like, well, she certainly has a type.
Yeah.
Was there any of them that stood out? Was that you who said that?
I did say that.
Was that you?
Yeah, it was me.
That was you. I don't know. Was it good or bad that they were kind of narrowed down right away to a certain type?
I mean, I feel like on the surface, they all were like these hunky bodybuilder looking guys that were tall and dark and handsome.
Ethnic.
But,
Especially Steve.
Yeah.
CrossFit Steve.
CrossFit Steve was...
But other than that, I feel like personality-wise, they were a little different. Like, there was a lawyer. There was, like, this acrobatic dancer.
Way,
there it is. Way.
Yeah, they were, like, a bunch of different...
My top pick, personally.
Yeah, there were a bunch of different personalities.
She liked that chair.
I like it. I like them flexible.
Listen up, boys. You know how to get to her heart.
You wish you were the chair in this episode. Is that what this is? Hello.
I just love how Jesse was like, I usually sit in the chair. Like,
Yeah, Jesse with the ad lib tonight.
I know.
Jesse
Show
with
us some
the ad lib.
personality. Yes, Jesse.
Oh,
Not
Jesse.
script. We're so proud
Nothing to
of
be
you.
ashamed of there.
How much, and maybe you can talk to this. Obviously, we looked at this and, like, she's from New York, and we have, like, New Jersey, New York, all of them kind of in that area. how much do you think the main contestant has pick over who shows up for the guys?
I don't think they have any pick.
Really?
I mean, look at me.
Yeah.
LA and Nashville. I actually predict second season that they're going to do a lot better than that, a lot better job at that. Unfortunately, distance does play a role in things.
It's huge.
And Mike and Monica, both in California. I'm just saying, producers.
Yeah.
Hook a brother up.
Oh man, yeah. And who stood out? Was any of them stood out?
The guy who like had his favorite insect. It was like some sort of weird beetle. He kind of stood out. Not maybe in.
Well,
Totally missed that one.
Yeah, like he was
I forget. I didn't hear who that was.
He was the first, like one of the first ones.
He was the first. Was Steve? Well, he wasn't CrossFit Steve and Tommy Taylor
no. I
Jr.
can't
Nicholas
remember his
Minor.
name.
He has a
Maybe.
cat.
No.
He has a
not him.
cat.
I know who stood out, guys. Naeem.
Yeah, I
with
was
the
just
two
gonna
daughters
say,
from two
Naeem.
different women.
With his
Naeem.
Superman tattoo.
Yeah.
He was striking. He was very striking.
Yeah. Very handsome guy.
So that was a big point in the show, obviously, the turning point where it was kind of talking about him and his two daughters, and it was one of the questions of how is that and how are you ready now as women? If you're looking at a guy and he says, oh, I have kids with multiple women, what are your thoughts? Red flags? What questions do you have?
I don't think it's a red flag. I think it would be naive at, how old is he? 34? To think that he may not have kids. But I think the important thing is to see if he has respect and relationships with the mother of his children. That would be the main concern for me.
But if you look back on the way he answered the question, she asked him, obviously, what did she ask him about the two kids? She said, why, can this cause an issue or something like that? The two kids with the two.
Yeah, I'm concerned. Why shouldn't I be concerned?
Why shouldn't I be concerned? And then he answered basically saying that he wasn't necessarily proud of the fact that he had two kids with two different mothers. So obviously someone would assume that he doesn't think that that's something to be proud of necessarily.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he didn't have a long time to answer the question. So he did say, like, I was young, and I don't know that that was the best answer, but I do understand what he means by that.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought his second relationship with the second mother would be, the one that would stick, but it didn't. And that's what happens.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I see it as a red flag based on how he answered the question, though. I wouldn't say it would be a red flag if every single person were to answer that they had a kid, but to have two kids from two different women and to kind of come on like this dating show and be like, well, maybe the third time you'll be the one, maybe it'll be a better connection. It kind of sounded like, okay, I'm just trying to like upgrade and like find, I don't know, it didn't feel very like it would be like a solid relationship based on how he answered the question.
Jordan, you start dating a girl and she's like, gotta let you know something. I got two different kids with two different baby daddies.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think I agree with you. Lauren. It's not necessarily like a deal breaker, but it does make you think. And I think with a dating pool as big as it is, you can kind of like, all right, well, I can deal with someone that maybe doesn't have that kind of baggage. But to his point, to be fair to him, I think we're all human, we're all learning, we're all growing. So I mean, you can't really judge someone for how they may look in the moment. I mean, I know I got a lot of flack on the show as well for a couple different things, but hopefully I'm swaying some Team Sams over here to Team Jordan.
You are.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he didn't do a good job of explaining it.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, I look at that and I'm like, hey, you had a chance to be able to say this is. It's hard because you can't say a mistake because your kids will probably be watching it.
His kids are not mistakes. I'm sure he loves them.
Yeah, exactly. But I think he didn't do a good job. You said, oh, I was a kid at 18, didn't have a dad, made a mistake. Didn't really touch on the second one. I think he kind of ran out of time. But I think it's tough. And
it wasn't a good answer because he got kicked off.
It's tough in a big dating pool, but it's also tough when you have 30 minutes to make a decision about who your husband's going to be. Of like, okay, well, I don't have time to even deal with that.
Right. I mean that's the problem is they didn't really get to know each other either. So I'm sure there's a much bigger story behind that than he can get away in like 30 seconds with Jesse breathing down his neck.
Seriously. Like, okay, you're done.
All right, Jesse.
Well, from one end of the spectrum, multiple kids, To the other end of the spectrum, no kids, no sex.
Ooh.
Surprised by Tommy Taylor Jr.'s decision of saving himself until marriage. Ooh, great sound
That
effect,
was
Jeff
really
Graham.
good.
I mean, he said...
Speaking of marriage, Jeff Graham in the booth, getting married in less than a week. Congratulations, Jeff Graham.
Got to hear about that proposal later.
Yes.
So I don't know. I feel like he answered that question about virginity perfectly, and I feel like we constantly see this in the media and in life, and especially in America in general. When a man says he's a virgin, it's like this huge red flag. But if a woman says she's a virgin, it's this thing to be praised and cherished. So it's such a double standard. And the way he answered that question was so flawless, where I just wanted to give him a standing ovation because he answered it, and at the end of it he kind of made this joke, and he alluded to Wei and saying like, but I'm very flexible and I can learn, and I don't know, I just felt like
He is so smooth the whole time, though.
Smooth.
He is just so smooth the
And
whole
he's so
time.
genuine too.
Yeah, Lauren, what were you gonna say?
I mean, yeah, I think his answer was good. I like him.
Oh, you were not a fan.
This is my thing. I want to know what kind of bacon he's making, because he said bacon like 4 times. So like, is it special bacon? Like,
Wow.
He did.
No, hey, if he's,
He won. I'm just saying. Maybe she likes bacon, so.
I mean, he doesn't use one meat, but he uses the other.
oh my! I knew it was coming. I set
Yes.
him up. I set him up for that. I set him up for that.
And with that, folks, I'll see you next week. I think he was very confident. I'll give him that. I mean, the entire episode, what you're saying, he's very confident. So when that question comes, he's not taken off guard, and he's not like, oh, how do I explain this? He's like, this is who I am. This is what I, am pursuing and what I am passionate about and the convictions that I have. But I'm also flexible, and that confidence is, from either sex is so attractive, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that is also really set him apart tonight.
Well, and I think it shows that he can keep them laughing into their old age. Like, it shows her a side of him that she wouldn't have otherwise seen. So I love that about him.
Yeah. And you're right, Mike. The way he tackled that question was great, as opposed to the way, what was the other guy's name?
We had Wendell and Steve.
No, the one that has two.
The fourth-
Oh, Naeem.
Naeem. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. What were the other deep questions? We had, Steve, tell me about the last time you were hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I thought she asked good questions.
I feel like they know what to ask because they like.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
Guy got asked when he was hurt. I got asked if you ever hurt someone before. Not fair. Yes, I was hurt.
They
Poor
knew
me.
to pull that question out of her, right? Because you had already told the producer. Oh, you can't tell us. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, got it.
I don't know about that.
What question, were you prepared for any questions, or in your mind, what are you thinking when it's like, all right, this is going to be a deep question?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared. So I did talk to the producers because they could ask anything, like the show. So we're not coached on.
Obviously.
So we kind of were talking about some random questions that we could kind of go through just to get comfortable. And yeah, when that one hit me on stage, I was like, ugh, gut punch. It was kind of funny to me too, because I was like, whoa, that had to be the one that I get asked too. So.
Did you feel nervous at all being in front of a live audience as you're answering these questions? Or did you block them out? Like, how did you deal with it being live?
I think I was really only nervous in the beginning and at the end of that show. I didn't want to get cut first, but then I was like, all right, I didn't get cut first, so I'm okay. And I'm a drummer, so I'm used to kind of being on stage and performing and stuff, so I don't really get too nervous. But that was a tough question to answer, in front of anyone. But yeah.
Did you get any really great advice before going on the show? By your friends or family?
I didn't tell any of my friends or family that I was going on the show.
Really?
At all. I didn't have a watch party or anything. I watched by myself with my dog. So this is the first show that I get to watch with people, so that's why I was talking the whole time.
Aww.
So thank you for watching with me.
So wait, when did your friends and family find out?
The show.
No.
Actually, no, I did. I did tell my mom on Mother's Day. I told her a couple weeks before it aired. And the first thing any of my friends saw was my post on Instagram.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, so I did a thing. Yeah.
Why was it
did
such a
you do
big
that?
secret?
I did it for me. I didn't know how I was going to come across too. I wasn't necessarily looking for fame or someone to pat me in the back for doing a show or something like that. So I was just kind of like, we'll just see how it goes. I don't know. Maybe it's a weird answer.
No, I think that's a great answer.
I think it's realistic.
You did it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
not
and it's
for social media fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do people do reality shows for social media fame?
Turns out.
Really?
There's a couple out there.
Turns out.
There's like one or two.
Wait,
Just
you
a
mean
couple.
That guy who wanted a record
Out
deal
there.
went on The Bachelor.
Yeah, possibly.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Go on the social media fame. Well,
Glad we got that cleared up.
Shanice says that she likes you in the chat. That she was a fan of you.
Thank you, Shanice.
Do you know Shanice
Thank
and
you.
I are always on the same page?
I love Shanice.
I love her.
Yeah.
Shanice is fantastic.
Yeah, I need all the Team Jordans I can get. That was pretty minority for sure.
For the first time tonight, the contestants were able to ask the dad. How important is that in a marriage? Did
Yes.
your husband...
So I have 2 dads, a stepdad
Okay.
and my real dad. And he asked both of them because he knows that that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
They both walked me down the aisle. So yeah, he asked both of them. I can't imagine what that meeting was like, but he did it.
Did he ask them at the same time?
No, he asked them separately. He went to both of their jobs and sat in their office, I'm sure all nervous, and
so
asked.
respectful.
Now, I think it's important, but in the moment of the proposal, I don't know how much weight that holds that they're asking that question because there's no history behind it. So I don't know in that moment if them asking Celine's dad that really meant as much.
I mean, we already know how
As it meant
Celine's
to me.
dad answered the question. He basically said yes to the second
Yeah.
guy.
Right,
and
right, sure.
That was
Very
very telling.
obvious.
Yeah.
Very telling.
Yeah, it was
Everybody
clear
knew.
who he was a fan of.
Yeah.
I'm a little old-fashioned though. I like that. I actually like that they incorporated that, and that some of them actually didn't ask in the past, and the fact that they're. I think this is the first time that even actually either of them said, "Will you marry me?" The words "Will you marry me?" I don't know. That might be wrong.
Jeff
but,
Graham, did you ask your fiance's father?
I asked, sorry, I'm being in the booth. I asked my fiance's dad 8 months in advance if I could marry him.
Wow.
I had to because there was so many logistics, and it was the only time I was going to see him in person before the big question.
Did you tell him at the
that.
time that it would be another 8 months before you would propose?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm really clicking. I had to because I was planning it around a family vacation she was having, so, and I wasn't going to see her before that. Or
That
see
is
him.
so romantic.
Yeah.
Jeff, you are so
I'm just surrounded by such
Seriously.
good dudes everywhere.
Jeff Graham, you are the best.
You are.
You guys are the best. Come on.
I wonder if that was a decision by the producers to offer that, or if that was, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, I can totally see Tommy Taylor Jr. being like, guys, I kind of want to do this. I feel like it's really respectful. And the producers are like, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
It's definitely
I can see that.
interesting.
I can see
could
that.
Yeah.
totally see
Yeah.
that.
They
I can
edited
see
that
him doing
part out, but
Yeah, and Steve's
Mine was
like,
his idea.
yeah, I like that idea too. Yeah, I'm here for that.
CrossFit's about it.
It's like CrossFit. It's interesting that they waited till the 8th episode to do something different. You know, it's very weird. I like that they did
You
it.
can
spice
teach an old
things up.
dog new tricks.
What? Can you really?
I think,
Let it go
apparently,
cross,
I
ladies and
mean,
gentlemen.
what this week we had this changing. We had Jesse a little bit of ad lib.
Yes.
I mean, next week, who knows what this show is
my
going to
goodness.
offer? Hold on to your seats, folks. What are the percentage odds that they will stay together?
Oh, very high.
You think so?
Very high for this one.
So what's your percentage? What are you giving them?
85%.
I'm gonna go with.
Lauren's pretty
I
accurate.
need to think about this for a second. Farrah?
I'd say 75. 75%.
I'm gonna give it a 63%.
63.
So arbitrary.
Yeah.
63.
A 63%. Yeah.
Hey, it's a real number.
You know?
I'm going the opposite. I think 35%.
You think 30? Why do you think 35%?
A hater.
Was it
yeah,
the- was it the
I
awkward kiss?
I think if it has anything to do with Taylor, that they'll go far. But I felt like she was really awkward. I felt like she wasn't really in it. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe it was just nerves on stage. But I felt like she was kind of like standoffish. But again, I feel like we'll see how people get to know each other.
Did you feel like she wasn't into it because she was literally facing the other direction from them when she was talking to them? Is that
Yeah,
why?
that could have been maybe some of it. But again, there's a lot of nerves up on stage. Trust me, there's a lot of nerves up on stage. So I hope I'm wrong. You know, I hope that everyone falls in love all the time. So
All the time.
maybe me someday.
Oh,
A lot of me is wanting to be optimistic, but I'm going to agree and say I think it's like 35%.
Really?
And it's not her. I think he's too religious. I don't think he's too religious. But I'm saying I think that if he's as strict religiously, we didn't find out anything about her religion.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask from a values perspective.
And I think from a values perspective, that's huge. If he's saving himself and he's doing it for a certain reason that he's very biblical, to not know her faith and her background, that could be a big red flag for him. And it could be like, it's not that they're not great people and there could be great friends, but that's a huge deal breaker in religious relationships.
But do we think that there is some religion there? Because her dad did ask as one of the final questions, how important is religion to you? He didn't say it was important to him, but I do think that he brought that up for a reason. There was a reason
and I'm not
behind
saying that's not that she might not be religious, but I think if you're on a level like Tommy is, that you also want someone who is on a very similar level because of when you have kids and what are you teaching your kids and how are you raising your family, and it's like there's, I don't want to say there's not tears, but there's like, hey, I really am dedicated.
Yeah, it's very
and
true.
I think that can be an issue.
Now, let me ask you this, though. With Tommy being the kind of guy that he is, do you think he would have proposed if that were the case?
Yeah, because he's on the show, and I think for that, I think. No, I don't. I see. I'm not even looking, Jordan. I think. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if he didn't. 100%, it wouldn't have surprised me if he didn't. But I think being that his parents were like, "Oh, love at first sight," and I don't think she had any red flags initially that would have stopped her proposal.
There's a lot of actors out there, but he seems super genuine.
He really did.
Very genuine.
I don't think if the way he came across, I don't think he would have proposed based on the guy he was if he didn't really have some sort of motivation or some sort of connection there.
That's what I think.
But you gotta admit there's still that elephant in the room. She did ask about how adventurous in the bedroom. That
exactly.
Girls got needs. I'm just saying. That may be a deal breaker because it was a deal breaker
she wouldn't
question.
have accepted his proposal.
Hey, but you know what? I think she might be willing to kind of okay. Let's see where this goes. Let's get to know this person again. I think a lot happens after the cameras turn off. So. Again, I wish him the best, but we'll see.
So there you just alluded to a lot happens after the camera turns off. What is the first thing that happens when the cameras turn off?
Oh man, well ours was a very long filming day, and I was like, hey, can I get your number?
No.
That was like the funniest part. But she was hungry, and so I took her to Fat Burger down the street in Universal.
That's so
It's got like
exactly
I think one of the
you're
pictures
talking
is up on the proposal Instagram or something. I don't know, but. Yeah, we stuffed our faces with some fat burgers.
Because it's like, okay, by the way, now we're in a committed relationship, and so
now can I get your number?
Now can I get your number?
Wow! There's the picture.
Oh look! Yeah,
She's gorgeous.
see where the looks are in that relationship.
She's stunning.
She is.
She's very.
That
beautiful,
guy's
very
all right.
beautiful. Yeah, he's okay. The guy on the left, but that burger though.
Yeah, the
that burger looks
good.
real good.
Stealing the
My eyes
show.
went right to the burger.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
so
Haven't eaten in a couple hours. Yeah, where's the nearest Fat Burger? It's right down the road, actually. So Simona has a question. She said, if they asked you back for season 2 to be the man in the pod,
Ooh, that's such a good question.
I think it would depend on where I am in life. I am definitely looking for a woman to be my partner, but I'm actually taking a little time to myself, probably for the first time in too long. Mm-hmm. I'm not dating anyone at all right now, and I'm really trying to just figure myself out.
That's good. That's great. That's important. I think in a society where everyone's like, oh, I need this, I want to feel needed, that it's good to be able to take that time.
Yeah, I think that was my problem. I was very needy in a lot of relationships. I know that I mentioned it on TV that I was looking for the one, but I really feel like at the end of the day I wasn't the one. So I really couldn't be with the one. I think every single girl that I've dated, I've been so blessed, like to have really, really wonderful women in my life, and I blew it. I really did. I blew it in all the situations. So
Don't be too hard on yourself.
So I'm trying to learn. That's where I'm at right now. That's why I'm taking some time.
That's great.
That's great. Well, we have some social media and some special segment. What do we want to do first? Social media special segment. What do we got?
Social media.
Social media. This goes back to last episode.
All right, so remember Winston, the good old boy from Britain or whatever his name was. He did a little swerve motion on Shelby, the beautiful model with the piercing blue eyes. And after his relationship didn't work out with who he actually chose, he decided to slide into Shelby's DMs and say, how are you? With
How
a little
are
smiley
you,
face.
little smile?
So then Shelby, like the true savage she is, you go girl, posted when he doesn't pick you but tries to slide in the DMs after. Swerve, no thanks. I'm right there with you, girl. Like, no, are you kidding me? Now you're gonna try?
Thoughts on her calling him out, putting him on blast?
He deserved it.
Yeah,
He deserved
props.
That's a little rough.
I wouldn't
It's a
have
little
done
rough.
that.
Not a man.
I wouldn't
It's a
have
little
done
rough.
No, if only every man could be on blast like that, that would be awesome.
I
don't think that was
totally get
necessary.
why she did it, but that's a little rough. That's a little rough. I mean, again, he made a mistake. He knows he made a mistake, but she's gonna be just fine, everyone. She's gonna be just fine.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
my question. Why didn't he slide into the second place person's DMs
Well,
instead
and-
of the
Have you seen Shelby?
He probably did. Let's be honest. Come on. and all of the rest of the
Yeah,
contestants.
you think he was
as well.
shooting one shot?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, and,
And
that's
all
why
of the other episodes.
that's why she had every right to post that, so that every
Yeah.
woman knows what they're dealing with.
It's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
You're so
Yeah.
passionate about this.
I'm
Laura.
hey.
So am I. There should be a
Winston.
Yelp on men.
No.
I want to search.
Do you want to yelp? Whoa,
yes.
whoa, whoa. Do you want to yelp on women too?
Not in fact.
Oh, look at that double standard hanging out there.
Okay, fair
Wow.
game.
Wow.
There should be a Yelp though. We should have an idea as to who these men and women are that we're going out with.
She said, and women.
No one
said
would date.
anyone.
You
No
can-
one would date anyone because
Yeah,
it'd just
right?
be bad reviews on
Just-
everyone.
It could be like braids.
Yeah, have you noticed with the rise in technology, the decline in marriage success? Like,
Right.
have we noticed this?
Well, you go on Amazon, people either rate it 1 star or 5. You either have the people that are like, I love this product, or the one that I hate it. You're not going to get the middle of the road
That's
stuff.
so
You,
true.
and you have to
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt. I never take Yelp reviews seriously because there are those people that are like, I just hate this place. And you look at the reviews and they're all like that. So you can't trust.
I also know a friend who gets paid $10 in Amazon reviews, so you can't really trust those as
There
much
we go.
either.
I need that
Oh, wow.
job.
Just saying.
Okay.
Special segment tonight.
Yes. Okay. So for the special segment, I'm gonna take it back to the 3 questions that were asked, 1 each for Wendell, Tommy Taylor Jr., and Steve. So there was 1 question about religion and the importance religion plays in your life. There was 1 about fake news and how to filter through all of the different
That was
news
weird.
sources. That was my favorite question, by the way. And then the final question
Deep.
was about how you would deal with someone who is significantly more successful than you. Which question
Savage.
out of the 3 questions would you want to dodge if you were on that like
Want to
chopping block?
dodge?
Would you want to dodge? Like you're like, I absolutely do not want to answer this question. Like, what do you think was like the most difficult?
I
one
see.
to
I think the
answer?
fake news one was just like, I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
It was like, how do you deal with this in life and then dodge the fake news? You're like, are you asking for my political news?
Yeah, but I still feel like Tommy
Are you-
answered it like Will Ferrell in Old School. He just kind of like blacked out. It's like, where'd that come from? It's like, what an answer. Well done, Tommy.
Oh
Well done.
goodness.
I just didn't get it. What are you like?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought the questions were kind of interesting this time around. Yeah, that would probably be the question I wouldn't want to answer because I don't know what kind of answer he's looking for.
But the other 2 questions are questions I ask guys when I go on dates with them. 'cause
Like-
they're both important.
What's your
Yeah,
religion?
I think the other
Yeah.
2 are very important, and I just have a good answer for the both of those. So I'm like,
Oh, wow. Rehearsed, huh?
you have to be.
Hey,
You
all
never know.
dates are interviews, guys. Let's
Exactly.
be honest.
It's true.
You've been asked some of the same questions
Yeah.
before.
Jordan, which question would you want to dodge out of the 3? The religion question, the fake news question, or the success question?
Oh,
Because
man.
that success question
That
is
is
pretty condescending.
Of course, then you put it to me. Yeah, I thought it was funny. It's like, you don't know me, Dad. How do you know I'm not successful as your daughter? Wow, I don't know.
CrossFit champion.
Probably the weirdest one would be like the news one, because I think to your point, I've thought about the other ones before. Like, I haven't really thought about like how I avoid fake news.
And how, yeah, in your life,
I
how
would
do
just
you...
turn off social media, or so, I don't know.
Right. Turn off the TV.
Weird. Yeah, they're all pretty hard questions, but I think I've given more thought to those too, like you said.
Yeah.
I thought all 3 of those questions, like this was
You
the
were in
first
love
time
with that fake
when
news question. I was like,
I love these questions. These are so random, but they really try to.
Wrong. You're so wrong. I just
Worst trade deal ever.
I'm done. Okay, so
Worst
Mina,
deal
answer
ever.
the question. How do you dodge fake news?
I feel like you just have to be really savvy and not rely on one traditional news outlet and look at multiple sources of information. Because when it comes to mainstream news like CNN, Fox News, anything that's mainstream, a lot of those corporations are got by like advertising. So they have to censor themselves on certain topics, and also the agenda setting function of the media. Why are you looking at me?
Because
like
I
this?
feel like you have had this answer prepared.
No, you're not.
Hey, except for
just
ABC, they report the truth.
And
They report the truth.
Plug.
dick. Well, let's tease quick,
company
quick,
man. I'm a
quick.
company
We got
man.
30 seconds. Looking ahead to next episode. What are your predictions? They said they were bringing someone back. Who do you think it is? Who do you want it to be?
I have no idea.
No clue.
No clue.
I can't even.
It said it was a fan favorite.
You know, what I will say, I think it's probably Sam. Because everybody
Sam was
loves
great.
Sam. Everybody
I don't think
loves
so.
Sam.
Let's
No?
let's do
I
a
may have
close-up-
insider
let's
knowledge,
do a
but I don't
close-up
know.
on
I don't know.
Jordan's face right now. Jeff.
Hey, no. Honestly, if Sam goes on that, actually, this is the funny thing. I met him, the very first person I met as a contestant.
Oh, wow.
And we were just like in the van together, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, you guys aren't on the same show." We're like, "Oh, okay, cool, whatever." Liars. But yeah, it'd be cool if it was.
I
Sam.
think it has to be one of the final 2 from any episode. So
Sure.
that narrows it down to 16 or 14 if you look at who's still together. I bet it's not Mike coming back from Mike and Monica. Because I think they're still together.
They
Don't
are.
say
They're
that.
still-
Don't put that out into the universe.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that'd be rough.
that's gonna break 'em
Surprised
up.
they're not together.
That's gonna break them up. Well, that wraps up our episode for tonight. Jordan, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank
Where
you,
can people
Jordan.
find you on
Thank you.
social media?
Jordan would do it on Instagram.
That's
Don't add me on
fantastic.
Facebook because I reserve that to my very close family and friends and people that I meet. So you guys can add me. Feel free. So sorry to break your heart. I've had to decline a couple different invites, but Instagram.
It's all right. Ladies, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic.
Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. We have special guests next week, Latoya and Tyler. You can follow me on Instagram at Lauren Ashley Beck.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Farah_Naz_B.
And you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at TheOnlyMC. Again, check out the other shows here on AfterBuzz TV. One for every show that you watch, I guarantee it. We'll be back here next week as we are every single Monday. 2 more weeks left in this season of The Proposal. Woo! Like, comment, subscribe, rate, tell a friend, go leave a Yelp review, go comment something on Amazon to be able to draw people to this show. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.